All right. So last week, what did we do? Can anyone tell us what we did?
We graphed the max and min.
We graphed the max and min, but what did we do? We did that we took all the data points in the summer and basically made the regression line to the summer. And then basically what we did was look to see if any of those lines were higher than the others. And that's a good, that's a good way, and it uses all the data. But what I want to do is I kind of want to summarize that and give us an idea of the trends that are happening, through time. So here's what I'm going to do. So what I want to do is summarize this somehow so that we can present this kind of in a unit, like we can make basically one value for each year. And we're going to do this, and we've done this before. So here are my results. Remember, this was for Miami. So 1954 to 2014 in 10-year increments. We color-coded this so it'd be easier to see. Now if you go down here, I don't want these. Oops. If you go down here, did everybody find the averages for each of those years and standard deviation? We found the median too. Let's not worry about this right now. So here's what I want you to do, and here's what we're going to do is we're going to use these values to represent the individual years, or at least the temps for those summers. Then we're also going to plot the standard deviation, which, as we know, represents kind of the spread of the data. The more narrow, the smaller that standard deviation, the tighter the values. The wider, the more the values are all over the map. You can think of going back to our NFL stuff, Baltimore defense had an SD or standard deviation that was very small compared to like Carolina that was all over the map. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these values, and I've already done it here. You can copy these, okay? But I've already done this, so copy these, and let's go to another tab on your Excel spreadsheet. Okay, and paste that information here, and I've already done that. So what I want you to do is paste this information. We're going to do the Miami max. And if your partner has it, what you're going to do is transfer the data to them too. You can do this after we're done. But we can just do this for the max now if we want. But this is what the table's going to look like. You've got each year above here, and you're going to have to probably put these years for whatever year you were looking at. 1954, 1964, 74. They're all the column headers. Okay. The second one represents the average of the maxes for each of these years in Miami. Okay. So this is the average value. When you paste them, sometimes if you paste it and it shows no value, be sure to paste values instead. Because what it's trying to do is use those formulas. You basically paste the formulas, and it's when you transfer it to another sheet, sometimes it'll mess things up. So if it doesn't work, if you're not getting any values, that means that you somehow pasted the formulas and therefore won't transfer. So just paste values, and we all know how to do that. Okay, the second line down here represents the average for the minimum temperature values for the entire summers of 1954, 64, and so on. Down below, I've also put the standard deviations. So here's a standard deviation for the max values, standard deviation for the min values. We're going to use this information to basically make that chart I just showed you, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so first off, let us, oops, and I think we can just do this by select. If you don't have the min values yet, you can put those in later, but I just kind of want to show you, go through how do we graph these. So I'm going to select these top two. I think this is going to work. These row 2 and 3, plus the headers. So I'm basically selecting the first 3 rows of my data. Then I'm going to go to charts, or you can do insert. I think that's on yours. Insert a chart. Now here's what I want to do. I want to go to scatter. Okay. Let's make this a marked scatter. Did everybody do that? Does your graph look like this? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. So you should have these points like this. What's the first thing? Remember, we're looking at this data. What should we correct right now?
The x-axis, y-axis.
Y-axis, right? We got way too much white space here. This is going all the way to 0, and we're really just concerned with this data over here. So what we're going to want to do is let's click on the y-axis, double click, and you're going to go to scale. Okay, based on this, I'm going to make my minimum unit at 70. You make yours to whatever you want. And hit OK. All right, that's a lot easier to look at. Now we can see more of these trends here. Let's take a look at it. Well, actually, let's take a look at this. Does this kind of correlate here? Some of these do. If we look at like 1984, we had very low temperatures in the max, and sure enough, we also had low temperatures in the mins as well. So these correlate pretty well, meaning the min and max are, agree with each other. But look here. We've got this one. The minimum temperature was very low for 1954, at least the average was. But you actually look at the maximum temperature for that same year, and it was a lot higher than at least 3 other years. You can have that. That's basically what I'm going to expect is I'm going to have a lot more standard deviation in this one than these others. Okay, let's put our regression lines in there.